Thank you for participating in the Road, the Journey to Excellence webinar. Your role as the new member educator is very important to this process. During our webinar today, I will walk you through the information that you need to be successful in implementing the Road, the Journey to Excellence. To give you more context of what the Road, the Journey to Excellence would look like, I'd like to begin by sharing our vision for the future. In the past, the Road was viewed as a chapter-specific program or something that your chapter offered after a meeting to fulfill a requirement. Over the past 2 years, a group of volunteers, students, and staff have been working to create a new vision for the educational programming offered by the fraternity at the chapter and national level. Here is a look at our view for the Road. A young man joins your chapter and his journey begins with new member education. After his 8 meetings and initiation, he then starts recruitment education, which is 3 different workshops. At the conclusion of that, he'll participate in ritual education, and then by the end of his first year, he will attend an Ignite. Moving past his first year of membership, he'll transition into the member education section. Throughout his next 3 to 4 years, he'll have the opportunity to participate in division conferences, Carnia, and attend the charge. As you will hear in this webinar and see through implementing the Road, the Journey to Excellence, the new version is designed with very specific outcomes and objectives to help every man leave the fraternity a better person. There are many resources to help you get started in the Delts Connect folder HQ Docs, but today I'd like to highlight a few important components of the new member education section. During this webinar, I will walk through the following things: the new member education structure and meetings, academic contracts, the Big Brother program, brotherhood retreats, new member education class project, and the Capstone. When we began this process of developing the Road, the Journey to Excellence, we knew the program needed to be a sequential process that took a man from midday to graduation day. So we started looking at what we provided chapters for new member education. Chapters were given the Life of Excellence manual and an outline for weekly meetings, but that was not enough. So to begin our process, we started to look at chapters in the fraternity that had outstanding new member programs. The ones that had 100% retention of new members, those whose new member GPA was above the campus average, chapters who had engaged seniors, and then most important, those who had been recognized by the fraternity through the FAR process with outstanding excellence in new member education. We used those best practices that we discovered in their new member education programs, along with the skills and traits that a young man needs to be a successful member of Delta Tau Delta, to create this new member education section. The new member education section of the Road is designed in meetings versus weeks. Each meeting has a theme that correlates with the rite of Iris and is carried out through the meeting. Each meeting begins with the Delta Tau Delta Creed and concludes with a gavel pass. As a new member educator, you are given facilitator guides for each meeting to help you organize what needs to be done and what needs to be taught to new members during that week. Each meeting will include various speakers, brotherhood building activities, and lessons tied back to the Life of Excellence manual. What you see before you is a sample meeting facilitator guide. You do have the ability to customize the program and add information and activities that is specific to your chapter. The important thing to remember is for this program, it is designed to help teach men how to be involved and active members of Delta Tau Delta for life. Local traditions that are counterproductive to this concept should not be included. Another key component that could easily be skipped over, but we feel is very important to this process, are the Road sessions that are incorporated into each meeting. You'll see in this example, there's a Road session on goal setting. Each meeting has a 15 to 30-minute tutorial that we recommend building in to help new members learn vital skills to be successful as a member and as a college student. In addition to the meetings, new members will be asked to fill out an academic contract at the beginning of the semester. The goal is to help them focus on what they need to learn to be successful academically. Instead of simply having guys attend study hours or study tables, we want to teach them the vital skills that they need to know. What you see before you is an example of the academic contract. As it's outlined in the new member education program, the Director of Academic Affairs will meet with each new member and develop personal goals for themselves for that semester. We also challenge the Director of Academic Affairs to have the new member class establish a GPA. This can be a fun and healthy competition between the new members and the initiated brothers. Again, our goal with this is to help them learn vital skills to be academically successful during college. One of the most enjoyable parts of new member education can be the Big Brother program. In the new member educator manual, you'll find a very specific and outlined process that we recommend for creating your Big Brother program. It's focused truly on having the new members meet and connect with an individual in the chapter. New member education can be very overwhelming, and it can be tough to really connect with the initiated brothers. So the goal of the new member or the Big Brother program is to have the new member educator meet and connect with one brother in the chapter. We've really allowed you to decide where it fits in the 8-week program. For some chapters, it might be at the very beginning, and for others, it might be closer to the conclusion. The key, though, is to consider who should or shouldn't participate in this program. Not every initiated brother is designed or has the good intentions to be a positive role model for the new members. One of the components of new member education that can really be difficult for new members is the process of getting signatures, whether that's in a black book or a paddle. Depending on the size of your chapter and the amount of time that a new member has to dedicate to that process, it can really take away from what they need to be focused on, and that's school. So in the new member education section of the road, we've built in a brotherhood retreat. The goal of this is really to allow the initiated brothers and the new members to get to know each other without having to do individual interviews. As you'll see before you, this is the page that's provided in the manual, but there are lots of ideas and opportunities for you to engage in meaningful relationships between the new members and the initiated brothers. Whether it's basketball tournaments or dodgeball tournaments, going to an indoor trampoline park or a paintball or laser tag location, it's important for guys to engage in healthy relationships beyond just having them fill out a page in a black book or get a signature. As I mentioned, one of the best practices that we continue to see over and over again were chapters that used a new member class project to teach vital skills that new guys will need to know to be active and engaged members of the chapter. So we've included the concept of a new member class project, but with a little bit of a spin on it. The goal is to provide an opportunity for the new members to engage in a service or philanthropic project that they develop and design. Ideally, this would be connected back to JDRF. So the important part as the new member educator is you need to get them thinking early. You can't wait until week 6 when you actually discuss the project to have them complete it. So at one of the first meetings, we encourage you to introduce this idea and to get them started. It doesn't need to take a lot of money or time. It could simply be going out and cleaning up a park, picking up trash, or it could be something more involved like actually participating in a JDRF event. The other outstanding goal is to really give the guys an opportunity to apply their leadership skills. New members are excited and looking for opportunities to get involved in the chapter at a greater level. The final key component of this is to allow for some discussion following the event so that new members understand the importance of the work that they did and that this is going to be an expectation after initiation. You'll notice that in the new member education manual, we don't include anything about Adult Development Week. This is something that can be customized or developed at the local level. But what we do include is the concept of a capstone experience. The goal is really to help new members to formulate the why in many different aspects of the chapter. Why did they join? Why do they want to be involved? And really, what do they want to achieve? Or what goals do they have for their future as an undergraduate member of Delta Tau Delta? The capstone emphasizes that initiation is not the culmination of their Delta experience, and it helps them to focus on those specific goals of what do they want to do as an initiated brother. It will allow for them to reflect and discuss as they prepare for the national exam. You'll also notice that within the new member education manual, we don't focus or even include the concept of weekly quizzes. The capstone and meetings that the new member educator would have on an individual basis with the new members will allow for you to identify and really focus on information that the new members haven't absorbed or learned during their new member education process. And finally, as you have those meetings and hear what the students have developed through their capstone presentations, this will give you an opportunity to revisit things before the new members take the national exam to help them be successful in passing. In closing, the implementation of the new member education section of the road is vital to the success of the program at the chapter level. It's important to spend some time reading through the information and understanding that you may not take everything that's in the manual and use it the first year, but it's there as a foundation and a building block for your future new member education programs. If you have questions at any time on the program, how to implement it, or what would or wouldn't be appropriate to add to the program, don't hesitate to contact me at ellen.schertzer@delts.org. Again, this is the first section of the road, the journey to excellence, and the foundation for your future chapter success.